He stole from the rich and gave to the poor, or did he? Discover the truth behind the legend of Robin Hood. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe for more amazing history stories. Hello, it's me again from the production team. We hope you enjoy this video, which we created especially for you. So let's get started. We will start this video with a bang. So Robin Hood, the name itself conjures up images of bravery, adventure, and justice. He was a legendary outlaw, an English folk hero who lived in the woods and robbed from the rich and gave to the poor. Or maybe not. In today's video, we are going to dive deep into the story of Robin Hood, separating fact from fiction and discovering the truth behind the myths and legends that have captivated people for centuries. The legend of Robin Hood is deeply ingrained in English folklore, but its exact origins remain shrouded in mystery. There are many versions of his life story, but the earliest known record of Robin Hood comes from a 12th century manuscript called the Pipe Rolls. This is where he is first referred to as Robin Hood, a notorious outlaw. The word hood back then had a rather unsavory meaning, referring to a bandit or outlaw. Some historians believe that Robin Hood's story was actually based on several real outlaws and rebels who lived in the Sherwood Forest area during the 13th century. These men fought against unjust laws and oppressive rulers, becoming folk heroes in their own right. One of them was possibly Robert, the 6th Baron of Lexington, whose lands were confiscated by King John. Another was Little John, a former sheriff of Nottingham who was accused of raping 2 women and then executed. But these are just theories. There is no evidence to say for certain that they inspired the legendary Robin Hood. To better understand the legend, let's take a look at what the stories tell us about him. The most popular version of the Robin Hood tale says that he was a nobleman who chose to live in the woods after being wrongly accused of a crime. The story goes that Robin Hood lived in Sherwood Forest with his band of merry men, robbing from the rich and giving to the poor. He was said to be a skilled archer and swordsman, always managing to outwit his pursuers. His right-hand man was a giant named Little John. Other members of his band included Will Scarlet, Much, the miller's son, and the famous Maid Marian. Together they carried out daring raids, stealing money and food from the greedy Sheriff of Nottingham and his men. Robin Hood was also said to have been involved in a number of love affairs, most notably with Maid Marian. Their romance was said to have been a central part of the legend, although there is little evidence of it in the earliest tales. The story goes that Robin Hood and Maid Marian eventually married and lived happily ever after, although this is not a detail found in any written accounts. The stories of Robin Hood and his merry men were passed down orally for generations before being written down in the 15th and 16th centuries. During this time, the legend grew and changed, with new characters and adventures being added. One of the most famous additions was the character of Robin Hood's mother, Lady Rowena de Beauvoir. She was said to have been a noblewoman who was taken to the forest by her son and merry men. In some versions of the story, she plays a key role in helping Robin Hood evade the Sheriff of Nottingham's men. Another famous addition to the Robin Hood legend is the story of the Siege of Nottingham. In this story, Robin Hood and his merry men lay siege to the city of Nottingham, forcing the sheriff to surrender. Again, this is not a detail found in the earliest accounts of the Robin Hood legend, but it became a popular addition in later versions. During the 18th and 19th centuries, the Robin Hood legend continued to grow in popularity. It was adapted for the stage and became a staple of English folklore. During this time, the legend was romanticized, with Robin Hood often portrayed as a noble hero fighting for the common good. However, this romanticized version of the legend is not entirely accurate. In fact, some scholars believe that the original Robin Hood was not a hero at all, but rather a villain. They point to early accounts of Robin Hood that describe him as an outlaw and murderer. It was only later that he was transformed into a folk hero. So how much of the Robin Hood legend is actually true? The truth is that it is difficult to separate fact from fiction. There is no solid evidence that Robin Hood was a real person, but there is also no evidence to prove that he was entirely a product of imagination. It is possible that he was based on several real outlaws and rebels who lived in the Sherwood Forest area during the 13th century. However, most of the details of the legend are likely the product of oral tradition and folklore. What we do know is that the story of Robin Hood has captured the imaginations of people for centuries. The legend has been adapted countless times for film, television, novels, and comic books, and Robin Hood continues to be one of the most beloved and enduring characters in English folklore. So whether or not Robin Hood was a real person, his story has become an important part of our cultural heritage. The legend teaches us that there is always hope for justice, even in the darkest of times. In conclusion, the legend of Robin Hood is a fascinating blend of history, folklore, and mythology. While we may never know the true origins of the legend or the extent to which it was based on real events, we can appreciate the story for what it is, a timeless tale of heroism and justice. The story of Robin Hood reminds us that sometimes the line between good and evil is not always clear-cut, and that even the most heroic figures can have their flaws. So, what do you think? Do you believe that there was a real Robin Hood? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss our future videos. We have so many more amazing videos for you. Now we will reveal to you a secret that is hidden behind this video. To create this video, we worked hard to make the story of Robin Hood come alive. We used AI to bring to life the medieval world in which he is said to have lived. We also created realistic battle scenes and other exciting elements that we hope will immerse you in the story. We wanted to capture the spirit of adventure and excitement that is part of the Robin Hood legend. So sit back and relax, and let us transport you to the world of Robin Hood. When creating this video, we paid special attention to the visuals. Our team created an animated ancient map of medieval England. Using AI, we brought to life the dense forests and majestic castles of that era. We also created a variety of scenes that depict the daily life of the people who lived in medieval England. For example, we imagined what the medieval villages and market squares looked like and how the people of that time went about their everyday lives. We also paid attention to the smallest details, such as the clothes people wore, the weapons they used, and the architecture of the buildings. This attention to detail allowed us to create a world that is both familiar and exotic, allowing the viewer to fully immerse themselves in the atmosphere of medieval England. We also used AI to create realistic battle scenes that showcase the skill and bravery of Robin Hood and his merry men. The sound design in this video is truly epic. The soundtrack was composed specifically for this video and features a variety of instruments that were used in medieval times. The soundtrack is full of heroic themes that underscore the bravery of Robin Hood and his merry men. We also included sound effects that bring the medieval world to life, such as the clash of swords, the neighing of horses, and the cries of battle. We hope you enjoyed learning more about the legend of Robin Hood. Now it's time to hear something interesting about the production of this video. Creating this video was a unique challenge for our team because we had to combine historical accuracy with creative storytelling. We researched the history of Robin Hood extensively to ensure that our portrayal of the character and his world were as authentic as possible. We also worked closely with historians to review our work and make sure it was accurate. Another challenge we faced was creating a visually stunning and immersive experience. We had to create a world that felt real and believable, and we had to populate it with characters that were both realistic and relatable. We also had to create battle scenes that were exciting and dramatic without being overly violent. Overall, creating this video was a rewarding experience. We learned a lot about the history and folklore of Robin Hood, and we had the opportunity to share that knowledge with others. We also had the chance to create something truly special, a video that brings the legend of Robin Hood to life in a whole new way. And this brings us to the end of our video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Also, we invite you to leave your feedback and suggestions in the comments below. Your opinion is very important to us and helps us make better videos. See you in the next video.